At this point, we are being joined by the Executive Director of Contact Project, Jennifer Lynne, who is also an international observer. Hello, Jennifer.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Well, very good evening to you. Well, you've been observing the elections here in Nigeria. What has been your experience? What have you seen? What have you heard?
Yes, well, over the course of Saturday, myself, along with a multinational civil society observation team, had the opportunity to move around Port Harcourt and observe several of the polling units. And what we were able to ascertain at the end of this, we held a press conference earlier today to report some of the findings that would include our confirmation around difficulties of availability and the security of result sheets. This would be ranging from the distribution and the collection at many stations and some questions around compromised materials. In addition, as has been widely reported, we've also observed some severe challenges to the dysfunction of the card readers. So in some polling stations, this was causing not only lengthy delays, but we had a very small percentage of voters that were actually able to be accredited and in some cases, denied. Further concerns of ours were the tampering of these election materials, security concerns, and some reports of misconduct by elected officials and candidates.
Is it your view, Jennifer, that the sum total of what you observed is enough to actually invalidate the elections that took place in Rivers State?
Well, I would believe that this would be a question of the INEC being able to hear these complaints and make decisions upon the validity based on the reports they're getting. I will say this, at the press conference that we held today, there were additional international reporters and observers present who would confirm violence and election tampering. So I would leave it to the INEC to take seriously the concerns that have been raised, not only with individuals within River State with their concerns, but also based on the observations of the international community in the area.
Can I get you to confirm the specific places that you visited in Port Harcourt?
I will tell you the areas that we have confirmed these concerns. These are areas that have been confirmed but are not limited to Amuma, Tai, Boni, Kana, Ogobolo, and Adois.
Will you be giving a report to the Independent National Electoral Commission?
Yes, along with my colleagues from the UK and here in Nigeria, we will be providing a full report available to the INEC, and we would encourage them to look at that feedback provided by ourselves and other organizations who have been participating.
How soon will you be giving them that report? Will it be sort of in the next few hours, enabling them to take a decision before the final results are announced?
Yes, absolutely. And a preliminary report has been released and I believe made available to them. So we were actually, our observation team was at the INEC headquarters later this afternoon, and we tried to gain entrance into INEC, and we were refused entrance into the facility.
Well, that's interesting. Now, we also know that protests did take place in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. Do you believe that, based on your observations, those protests were actually justified?
Yes, yes, I would say that they were justified based on our observations and reports. I would also say that we were on ground when these protests were taking place. And this was the time that we had tried to gain entrance into and speak with representatives representatives of the IMEC.
Jennifer, what did you see in terms of security? You mentioned tampering of, well, with electoral material. If you
are reports
or your
that
people were eyewitnesses,
yes,
what was the security personnel doing?
Well, I want to be clear that I'm not suggesting that security personnel were. I did not witness security personnel tampering. Those would be two separate concerns. Concerns around security and intimidation, and then around materials being conducted appropriately, let's say. In other words, what we do have confirmations of and have seen are some of our international community members reported ballot boxes that had seals broken.
Are you saying security
we have seen
have been compromised?
violence and intimidation reported as well at some of the polling areas. So, in cases like this, I would also like to say
we're losing the audio
that
on Jennifer.
we feel very strongly that Nigeria has done a remarkable job overall with this process, and that the biometric card readers, although problematic, were able to bring the level of a free and fair election to the Nigerian people in a much more real way than we had seen in any prior election. So I again, as we're saying these things, it's important to also give credit to, it's a great challenge to ensure a fair, free, and safe election process in any nation.
All right.
So great efforts are involved in this taking place. But it is important to acknowledge these concerns so that the INEC in Nigeria can absolutely have the voice of the people be the voice that's being counted and confirmed. Yeah.
All right, Jennifer, you mentioned some of the things that, some of the reports that you have received. I'd like to ask a personal moment from you. Have you had any cases where the situations that you encountered prohibited you or disturbed you from doing your job appropriately?
That's aside from being prevented from entering the INEC office.
Apart from being prevented from the INEC office, did you feel
correct,
that
yes.
You were being inhibited from doing your job properly?
Yes, that's correct. Other than that instance, no. We were able to move around without any concerns, either security in terms of our own safety or security in terms of any restriction to our movement.
Well, Jennifer, would like to say a very big thank you for the observations you have made and, of course, the concerns that you have clarified, especially as far as the questions that we have raised are concerned. Of course, we'll take this very much to heart, and then in the course of discussing these issues in our reports, we'll take these very, very seriously. Well, thank you very much, Jennifer.